to Tech Circuit, the podcast where we discuss tech news, video games, as well as the latest in gaming and PC products. I'm Ben Tibbles, and with me is the incomparable David Lee. And our theme song, by the way, is by Troy Goss, aka DJ X Subn.
All right. Well, thanks guys for listening. It's exciting to be here to talk to you about all the things that we're going to be doing here today. First things on the menu is going to be about the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide. We'll show you guys. Here's a little breakdown of what we'll be doing. This week's product spotlight, we got a focus on a good deal just for our listeners. Then we'll be talking about the Nintendo Direct. Then we'll be talking about the incredible success of the AMD 9070. We'll be going over Half-Life 2 RTX and how cool that looks. And then we'll be introducing you to a little segment I like to call the user circuit. Let's head on in. We'll start with this week's incredible deal. This is for the Acer Aspire 14 AI Copilot Plus PC. Right now, normally, this is over $1,000 laptop. It's about $1,050. But if you're listening to this podcast, you can get an extra $50 off with the promo code Podcast1. So if you're looking for a great little workhorse PC, let's talk about this guy, because there's a lot to love about the Acer Aspire.
Yeah, I looked over at the specs of this computer and it was really, really good. This is run by the Intel Core Ultra 7, which is capable of going up to blazing fast speeds of 4.8 gigahertz with 8 cores, which is a lot for a laptop. It's going to power the brainy Copilot AI, getting you the answers right at your fingertips.
And these cores are a hybrid technology. They're the performance and efficiency cores that Intel's been known for over the last couple generations. Right. So you both have those cores that are focused on the program that you're actively engaged with, but then you also have those efficiency cores that are operating all the background tasks and other tabs that you have open. Because I don't know if you're like me, they call me Tabitha in the office because I never have less than 50 tabs open. I usually across like 3 or 4 windows, but I've got a million tabs open. So I like a laptop with a good responsive processor, but also Daddy's got to have RAM. I got to have that RAM so I can be multitasking.
Yeah, that's right. This Copilot AI is super well integrated, which I appreciate, where for video imaging and voice AI enhancements, it uses a purified voice tech with 2 built-in microphones. So you won't have the other person going, "What was that? What was that?
What? Huh?"
Exactly, right?
The other another great thing about this laptop is the 14-inch touchscreen. Very nice, very clear. It's an IPS panel with a pixel density of 161 ppi. The recommended pixel density for basic tasks is about 110 ppi, meaning crystal clear images on this. IPS panels also have a great wide viewing angle. So especially if this is a workhorse PC, if this is a laptop that you're collaborating with people on, not everyone needs to be like right behind you to see what you're trying to see. People can see it from a wide angle. And again, 14-inch, nice size for a workhorse laptop, but the touchscreen is key. I used to have a touchscreen work laptop, and it was robbed from me by a blue screen. But I miss it. I miss having a touchscreen because it's just... It was surprising to me how many instances I found that useful.
Yeah, whenever I get a new laptop, the first thing I'll do is see if it's a touchscreen because it's so useful and handy. It's just another feature of using a laptop.
If you're watching right now, touch your screen. You don't know. Maybe you've gone this entire time not knowing that you had a touchscreen. And now's your day. Unlock your potential. This does nothing for me.
So this laptop has 4 USB ports, which I love. I always get my laptops with like 1 or 2 USB options, and it's so limiting. And then I'll have to get a dongle, and I'll have to remember to put the dongle.
Not a dongle.
Yeah, no. Man. Oh. And what I loved was the 2 Type-C USB ports, which supported Thunderbolt 4, which I didn't know this until I read it, was delivering 1 100 watts of power, which is crazy to me.
Thunderbolt 4 is a really cool technology. We learned a lot about it at CES and some of the new things that it's doing, and it's incredible. The way that you can use a second PC as a streaming PC just by connecting. I mean, there's lots of cool things, and I'm going to forget all the details that made it so cool. But Thunderbolt 4 is a really cool technology, especially on something that you want to be like versatile, portable, and effective.
Yeah, and with so many people using multiple screens, I love that this laptop has an extra HDMI port for you to use so that you can all just attach it anywhere and you won't have to take another big monitor with you, wherever you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't forget the Acer Aspire 14 AI Copilot Plus PC. If you're listening or watching to this podcast, you can get an extra $50 off by using the promo code podcast1. That's only good for this week, by the way. So by the time the next episode airs, this deal it'll be Kaiser Soze gone. That's a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen The Usual Suspects. I know it's only been out for 30 years. Moving on to the Nintendo Direct, and specifically the Switch 2. There's a lot to be excited about for the Switch 2, and then there's a lot, I think, to be skeptical of. Let's have a little debate. You're excited, I'm skeptical.
This has everything that we've been asking for years. I was so excited. I was literally screaming out of my seat when this finally released. I was like, holy crap, Nintendo's actually doing 120 FPS. I like my great visuals. I like my smooth visuals. And that was the part that excited me the most. I always thought the Nintendo console was just like a 3DS, but like a little upgraded, with like super...
Yeah, with no 3D.
Yeah.
Upgraded by the loss of an entire dimension.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I forgot that I've been asking Nintendo for mouse controls I haven't been. I'm being sarcastic. This mouse control thing seems like a huge gimmick to me. I loved the Switch. I liked the Wii. However, I think we all remember that The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is probably the floppiest Zelda. I attribute that a lot to they did a lot of their programming and their level design and their character design and enemy design based on the motion controls, right? They wanted to take full advantage of the motion controls, which I don't fault them for wanting to do that. However, it sometimes got in the way of me enjoying that game. Like it got annoying for misread direction swipes, or dying controllers, or that sort of thing. So like I appreciate the ability, and I think that the mouse controls might do something for getting more PC gamers playing on a Switch. I don't know. Tell us in the comments what you think about that. However, and I've seen some cool, like I saw them aiming in Metroid Prime.
Yeah, right here actually.
Right here. Look at that timing. Which, okay, cool, but like if I wanted to play on a mouse, I would play on a gaming PC.
Yeah,
I would play on, and granted, you can't play a lot of Nintendo properties on a gaming PC. I get that, but I don't know. It seems like a gimmick to me, and my concern is we're gonna see a lot of things like the Truth tablet when the Wii U came out, or whatever the hell it was. Where you had to like hold the tablet up and look around to like find the secrets and things like that, and it just ended up being like, do I have to do this? Can I just do it with my joysticks?
Those were dark times.
So I agree. Higher FPS, higher resolution, exciting. Mouse controls feel like a gimmick, and if anyone does a gimmick well, it's Nintendo.
That's true.
But they haven't always done it well.
Yeah, the Wii U, man. Oh, we don't talk about the Wii U. It doesn't exist.
We don't talk about Wii U, no.
The mouse controls are interesting because I'm either used to playing like keyboard and mouse, or I'm used to playing on a controller, right? But now you aim with a mouse, right? But then how do you control your character and move it at the same time? That does seem a little funky to me.
I mean, I'm thinking that they're counting on you using the joysticks on the side,
right,
and the bumpers as your buttons. There's a reason gaming mice aren't designed like that, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't see many. There are some that are along those approximate lines. We've spent a lot of time talking about that stupid mouse. I want to talk a little bit about some of the games, because there are some really exciting games, not just retroactively, right? Because there are some games like Mario Party Jamboree, and what else? Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby Forgotten Land, and Star-Crossed World, Pokemon Legends Z-A, Metroid Prime 4. These are all going to get in-game upgrades
finally
when played on the Switch too.
Yeah, I was playing some of the Pokemon games, and the frame rate was an absolute joke to me. I could see every frame when you made a jump, and it was a nightmare. I just couldn't get into that game. So the fact that they're getting us these game upgrades, and some of them for free, was like, it was beautiful, right?
But we do have some exciting actual games coming out for the Switch too. Of course, Mario Kart World looks fascinating. There we just saw Donkey Kong Bonanza. Both of those seem like open world games to me. I know Mario Kart World is an open world game, which is going to be interesting. An open cart or an open world karting game?
I don't know. Like the closest thing, cousin that I have to think about that is the Sonic open world game, but it's not really racing, and it's going to be 24 people as well, which is crazy. That is a lot of drivers on 24. One racing car.
That's a lot. And all you're doing in that instance is you're extending what I call the nightmare zone in Mario Kart racing. Because once you get ahead of everybody, you are sitting clear. All you have to worry about is a blue shell, and there are lots of ways to get around blue shells. But if you're in the pack, if you're with everyone, it's a nightmare. Everyone's getting power-ups. They're all launching shells at each other. They're all doing that. So with 24 racers, that nightmare zone just gets longer.
Yeah, it's going to be a chaotic race for that one. I'm curious to see what that'll look like. My wife, in particular, loves all the Mario Kart racing games, and she smokes my butt whenever we play. I don't know how. I beat her in
isolate that sound bit.
I beat her in every single game but Mario Kart. She always manages to race past me, and it just boggles my mind. So we're gonna get it, and we're gonna see how it goes for sure.
Some other games that I'm personally very excited about. First of all, get it out of the way. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. I love the Warrior franchise. I've loved them since the original Dynasty Warriors game, Samurai Warriors, Gundam Warriors. There's so many great games in that arc. The original Hyrule Warriors, like the very, very first one that everyone forgets about, wasn't great. It wasn't great. However, Age of Calamity, the more recent one that came out a few years ago, is an excellent game. It's fun. It's replayable. The characters are interesting. The combat is interesting. It's a really fun game. So I'm excited to see Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Yeah, it was really unique because a lot of Zelda players aren't used to that kind of gaming genre, and so to speak. And so when they were introduced to it in their favorite IP, they had to go try it out. And it was really interesting seeing a lot of their reactions, being like, oh, how do you do this? This is just mostly action, but I think the story was pretty decent too, to kind of get more idea of Hyrule Kingdom at that time and see what the story was like. It was great content.
That is also, that's going to be really cool because all of Hyrule will be different. You won't be, going through the ruins per se as much as you'll be going through the thriving kingdom of Hyrule, or the kingdom of Hyrule as it's under siege. Which will be very cool. The other game that I think everyone's talking about with the Nintendo Switch is Dusk Bloods.
Wow.
It is a FromSoft exclusive for the Switch.
I know.
That's crazy to me.
People were praying that the next From Software game would not be a PlayStation exclusive.
And they got their wish.
They got their wish. The monkey's paw curled real hard. Let me tell you. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's my new favorite phrase. The monkey's paw curled real hard, everybody. That's a great way to put it.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I never thought I'd live to see the day. When I saw that released, I was like, you got me right now. That is insane. And it looks great. I hope that they're able to implement all the quality of life improvements that they've had for other games to the Switch, because it is a beefy game. From Software games.
Oh, any From Software game is rather chunky. It's just, and it's interesting. It looks like it's like vampire based. It looks dark. Like it looks not like a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
By content alone. So it's interesting to see not only FromSoft making an exclusive that's not for the PlayStation, which is interesting, but then also to see Nintendo taking a kind of darker direction, a more adult direction.
Yeah.
One of my favorite horror games of all time, and if you haven't ever played, it's for the GameCube, so I don't know where you could play it anymore, probably on an emulator, but it's called Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem, and it's a fascinating Cthulhu-inspired horror survival game. That is from it's on the GameCube.
Yeah.
But it's terrifying, and it messes with you in a lot of really cool and interesting ways. So this is a shout out to go back and play Eternal Darkness, or it's a shout out for Nintendo to re-release or remaster or make a sequel. I would play a sequel to that game.
Mm-hmm. The other game that if you haven't heard of it is Silk Song, and when I saw Silk Song, I almost fainted.
Is this a sequel to Hollow Knight?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. I played Hollow Knight, and when it was my first Metroidvania that I fell in love with, and I just couldn't stop playing it. It kept me up. I had to go to work, and when I went to work, all I could think about was Hollow Knight. And then they kept releasing another DLC, all for free, and people were losing their minds. It was such good content.
Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
Exactly. And it was just a banger after banger updates, and then they finally announced Hollow Knight Silk Song, and people were losing their minds. They're like, yes. And it was announced 2019, 6 years ago.
That's when Silk Song was announced?
Yeah, Silk Song was announced 2019.
Oh my God.
It's been in development. It's still in development, right? But what's crazy to me was people were so hyped up about the Hollow Knight series. There was one YouTuber who posted an update every single day, seeing if there were any news about Silk Song updates. And the last time I checked, he was at 1,537 daily posts on YouTube. And people went wild. I couldn't believe it. On the Reddit subpage, there's actually a tag that says you are a believer or you're a non-believer, right? Or a doubter. That's what it is. And all the doubters just had to say, we're sorry we ever doubted you. And all the believers were going nuts on that subreddit. I can't wait to play it. I can't believe it. And there was actually another story. It was announced, Silk Song, in an Xbox Direct a couple years ago. I forgot what year. And the Xbox people said, yes, this game is going to release 2022 or 23. And people went nuts. And they were wrong. They lied to us. There was an actual official post by an Xbox executive saying, yes, this game, Silk Song, is going to release on our platform this year. And they were wrong. They lied to us. Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. It's coming out.
It is.
You'll be excited.
If it doesn't come out this year,
Nintendo lies to us.
Yeah,
then we only have PlayStation to hope
I
for.
have a pitchfork ready.
And I have a torch. Moving on. Now, the AMD Radeon RX 9070 series. This has done some incredible things. AMD sold 10 times the number of 9070 and 9070 XT GPUs in the first week as the previous AMD Radeon GPU launch. So, if that's all you're looking at, right? It's
that's
just your sales numbers in the first week from generation to generation. 10 times jump.
Yeah.
What is that? 1,000% increase? You're doing something right.
You're doing something right. I freaking love it.
Yeah. AMD was not expecting to sell out this fast, obviously, because they sold out very fast. So this was a surprise even to AMD. In Japan, The 9070 series captured 50% of the market share.
50%?
50%. The 9070 series by itself was 50% of new GPUs sold in Japan. Now, Japan is probably a special case. We don't have the specific numbers here in the US, but we know that it's not quite as much. But still, Japan is a huge market. I mean, there's a lot of gaming that gets done in Japan.
Yeah, I heard about the Japan Shuffle, where they tried to do something similar to a Newegg Shuffle, this one store, and it was a mistake because people were starting to climb over elementary schools and like destroying property to get to the Shuffle just so that they could get any GPU, and the store had to apologize. Like, these GPUs are selling like hotcakes.
I don't know if anyone's climbed over a school for a hotcake. I think they're selling like GPUs.
Yeah.
Climbing over schools is a funny, like, why were they having the sale behind the school? Just have it at a store.
I think the crowd was actually just so big it encompassed the school by accident.
Oh my God. Yeah. So NVIDIA's launch didn't have this hot of a reaction. I think there's a lot of skepticism about the 50 series, if not just outright disappointment. Yeah. I think a lot of people are saying that the 50 series isn't that huge a jump over the 40 series. Right. And frankly, they're saying it's not as big of a jump as the 30 to the 40, but my little brain remembers when the 40 came out and people were saying basically the same thing. They were saying like, oh, it's huge and it's not giving us like enough of an increase in performance. So maybe I'm misremembering. Tell us in the comments what you think at home. But I seem to remember the 40 series, not to get off topic here, receiving a kind of lukewarm review. And now the 50 series is getting that too. Do you think that maybe people are just a little frustrated with having to give the money to NVIDIA to get the best performance? Yeah.
AMD isn't able to compete at the highest levels anymore. They're only competing in the mid-range market. And so NVIDIA just has free reign to do whatever they want with the 80 series, 5080 and the 5090. And so whatever they set, they know they're the top performer in that market, and so they could lower the performance and up the price however much they want. And it's just an interesting dynamic when you have that kind of monopoly on the high end. They could, I'm hoping to get my own 5080 one day, but I mean, that's a prayer.
But the 9070 is getting compared to the 5070 Ti in performance. So on the higher, on the upper middle level, just maybe on the bottom of the high end of NVIDIA's performance. The 5070 Ti, the card that they're comparing this to, is $750 MSRP.
Wow. Yeah.
5080 is about $1,000. The 9070 and 9070 XT top out at $600.
Yeah, crazy.
So even if you're just comparing it to the 5070 Ti and you're comparing the higher end of the 9070s, 9070 XT to the 5070 Ti, is still you're saving $150.
Oh yeah. So AMD actually pulled a really brilliant move at CES. So NVIDIA released their announcement about the 5000 series, and AMD had another segment to showcase the 9070 series, but they scrapped it and canceled it at CES when it was scheduled to present January this year.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew they pulled. Oh, I didn't know. Like no one had told me that, but I knew. I was scheduled to go to an AMD 9070 discussion, and it never happened, or they didn't talk about it, and I was like, what?
It was a brilliant move that they pulled off, and it's no surprise to me anyway that the NVIDIA released the 5070s on February, right? And the next month AMD released their 9070s in March, just so they had enough time to adjust to the market and set the prices down, because they knew they couldn't compete with the 80s, but they made sure that they were going to win against the 70s in pricing.
Well, and I think that this just goes to show Lisa Su, right? She is a brilliant CEO. She has the user in mind, the end consumer in mind when she makes almost all of her business decisions, or at least it certainly seems that way. Final question on this subject. Is AMD doing to NVIDIA what it did to Intel? AMD came from way behind to capture the market share in the CPU game, and their 9800 X3D CPU is being touted as the best gaming CPU ever made. Will AMD finally shake up the GPU market and give NVIDIA something to worry about?
Yeah, NVIDIA is definitely competing in that 70s range for sure, and they are definitely on the losing end. It's just that NVIDIA, the brand name is just so strong. The average consumer doesn't even know that AMD has these graphics cards and where their power is compared to NVIDIA's. And so until AMD really knocks it again and again and establishes their brand against the market, I'm not sure. NVIDIA's brand name is just really that strong to me.
It's very, very strong. All right, let's move on to the next one. Last but not least, we have Half-Life 2 RTX. This is a remaster or a remake? It's a remaster.
It's a remaster.
Yeah. Building off the original game code to dynamically upgrade the visuals. If I understand correctly, this was not done by Steam or by Valve, right? This was done by independent.
Yeah, it was by Orbifold Studios. They actually were the devs behind Half-Life 2 VR, which was kind of surprising.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was great. I loved anytime they do remasters of stuff like this. I was looking at the footage here, and it was crazy. That shot right there, it was mind blowing to me. Oh wow, can hardly see. Yeah, they did a great job with ray tracing and lighting effects all over that game.
Have you played Half-Life 2?
No, I haven't.
I played it a long time ago. I remember very, very little of it. I do remember enjoying it a great deal. The gravity gun was so fun, and like so many other games ripped that off almost immediately. But it was a really fun, I mean, you'll see some of the moments in here where they pick up like giant buzzsaw blades and that's the shot. I love that one. So it's like a super fun game. And to see it brought to life like this is kind of incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
they did a lot of work on this.
Yeah. Right now, there's only 2 levels available, and there's no ETA on the full game, but it is coming. We know that is happening. It's not particularly easy to run this game. You can't expect to play Half-Life 2 RTX on a toaster. You need a decent GPU, and you need to have all the DLSS features enabled. But that's kind of the point of having a high-end NVIDIA GPU, no? Yeah. If you go to our YouTube channel, Newegg Studios, over on YouTube, you'll see very recently we launched a video talking about the differences between the 3080, the 4080, and the 5080. And we did that test with all DLSS and ray tracing features turned on. Because a lot of the tests out there don't utilize those, and I understand why. You want a metric of the base power of the actual processor. However, most of you at home, correct me if I'm wrong, let us know in the comments, most of you at home will be playing probably with these features activated, because you're seeking, the best and smoothest pictures, the best and smoothest graphics.
Yep.
So we ran that test recently. You can go see our results over there. But DLSS 4 with multi-frame generation is incredible. It's doubling the numbers put out by the 4080.
Yeah, it was insane to me. It's not perfect. I did see a lot of footage where you could see some mishaps here and there, but overall, when I'm playing with DLSS 4 turned on, I don't notice a difference except like once every hour or so. I'm so engrossed in the game. It looks amazing and incredible. I love that this new technology is existing when I'm alive right now. I'm over the moon happy.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
What are some other games that you would like to see them remake?
I would like to see...
Or remaster, excuse me. Remaster. Yeah. Remaster.
Wow. I would like to see Left 4 Dead 2. Man, I remember...
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites growing up. up. And also Dragon Age, Gears of War.
Speaking my language with Dragon Age.
Yeah. What's another one? Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect. Oh,
yes. Mass Effect. Mass Effect's my favorite game. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game. Mass Effect 1 is fine. It's fine. I love that game, but a lot of people rag on that game, and I would never tell them that they're wrong because they bring up very good points. Wow, those are all really good choices, and you kind of took all the ones that I was thinking of, so I can't think of any other great PC games that I'm dying to like, because all the games I play are like Diablo, and it's like the remaster of Diablo 2 was great, but I end up still just playing it in the old pixel graphics instead of the new remaster graphics. But let us know what games you think would be great with an RTX remaster. I'm thinking of things like the Arkham games would be great to see.
That would be good
remaster of.
An old favorite of mine was Wolfenstein. I really like that series.
Another great one that I know a lot of people have been clamoring for. It's PlayStation exclusive, but they've been the crowd has been clamoring for a PC port of Bloodborne ever since it released. And if they released Bloodborne as an RTX remaster as a PC, that would be huge. So NVIDIA, Jensen, listen to me. I need you to do a PC remaster of Bloodborne. I don't care how much it costs. Please. Let us know in the comments what games you would like to see with an RTX remaster. Because I bet we're going to get some games that I'm like, oh my God, yeah, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, we need more modders on the RTX Remix application to make more, okay? This needs to happen. Please.
All right. Okay, everybody, last but not least, let's move on to the next slide. We have a little section that I like to call the user circuit. That's Y-O-U-zer circuit. We have a fresh, brand, shiny new Bluesky and Twitter page. All I need you to do, head on over there, ask us your questions, leave us your comments. Anything that I asked you today, I want to know, do you think that the mouse control for the Nintendo Switch is a good idea? Do you think it will bring in PC gamers who currently don't play on the Switch or anything like that? I want to know what games you want to see RTX remastered. I want to know what you're excited about for the Nintendo Switch. I want to know your thoughts on the 9070 versus the 50 series GPUs. Let us know on our social media pages or show off your gaming rig. Send us a picture of your custom gaming rig, and if we think it's cool, maybe we'll show it next week. I'm dreaming up a little segment where we keep a ranking of our favorite custom builds from 1 to 100. And if you want to get on the board, if you want to be one of the 100 top builders according to Tech Circuit, you got to send those pictures of your gaming PC to our Bluesky or to our Twitter, or you can email us at podcast@newegg.com. That's our show. Did you have fun?
Dude, I had a blast.
Do you feel smarter?
I certainly learned a lot.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us this week. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest tech news and product offerings from Newegg. You can ask us questions, show off your gaming rig, tell us how wrong we were on our Twitter or our Bluesky. Just look for Tech Circuit Podcast on those platforms or email us at podcast@newegg.com. Our theme song, again, is by the fantastic Troy Goss, aka DJ X Subn. You can find a link to his music in the podcast description. Remember to check out newegg.com for all the latest and greatest in PCs and all your tech needs. I'm Ben Tibbles.
I'm David Lee.
And this has been Tech Circuit. We'll see you next week.